So, hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make old-fashioned bread pudding. It's a really good way of using up any stale bread you've got, or bread you've got in the cupboard that you've forgotten about that isn't quite stale but you won't quite use it for sandwiches, or anything else you've got. Like I've got a hot cross bun in here that's honestly gone a bit dry past its best. These are fantastic in this. Okay, so I've popped the recipe up for you to have a look at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it. We're going to do it step by step. I want you to put me on pause when you've done it and we'll do it together. Okay, so I've got my 500 grams of bread in here that I've already weighed out, and I'm just going to literally tear it up, because the idea is we make a mush. That's the best way I can say, think of saying it, because that's what we do. Okay, so I want you to break your bread up, just tear it up, okay, and when you've done that, pop me on pause. When you've done that, just come back to me and we'll do the next step. Okay, so you can see I've literally torn my bread into pieces. My hot cross bun's in there somewhere at the bottom. There it is. Honestly, great with hot cross buns. And if you're like me and you have a couple out of the packet and then you don't fold the packet over, or you think, oh, actually, I don't need them, and then they've gone out of date slightly, do you know what? It's a fantastic way of using them up. So what we've done is we've got our bread into small, it's like feeding pigeons, isn't it? Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in our sugar. sugar in. We are going to add our milk. There we go. We are going to add our 2 beaten eggs. And we're going to add our lovely, lovely, lovely mixed spice. Now, I know the recipe says 1.5. I quite like it. So I add a little bit more than that, to be honest. I add 2 because I really, really like it. And it smells just like Christmas when it's cooking. Okay, fantastic. Make sure I've got all my milk, all my liquid. And what I'm going to do now is you get your hands in. This is great for the kids to do. They absolutely love it. You might love it too. Okay. And we just squidge it all together with our hands until it becomes a glorious mush. Now this doesn't have any flour in it. Your flour obviously is in your bread. You can use brown bread, you don't have to use white. White was just what I'd got left over. But please use whatever you've got. This is all about using what you've got. Okay, we're not pretentious here, we just use what we've got. And if we haven't got dark brown sugar, we use white. Okay, it's fine. I'm sure our grannies didn't bother about it, and neither are we going to. Okay, so as you can see, it's a really, really nice mush. Now, what you do is you leave it. Absolutely leave it. You leave it for the liquid to incorporate into the bread. Okay, so wash your hands, pop the kettle on, and I'll see you in 15. Hi, welcome back. So we've done that. Excuse me, we've left it 15 minutes. What I've done now is I've tipped in my 500 grams of fruit and the peel, should you want to use it. Not everybody likes peel, but that doesn't make any difference if you want to leave it out. I've just put a little bit in with mine, I'm not a great fan. And then we squish it round, making sure that the fruit is evenly distributed within the mix. This is really quite satisfying to be honest. Okay, so we make sure that's all evenly distributed, and I'm going to leave that for another 10. Okay, so see you later. Okay, so we're back. Hi, I've left my mixture to soak. You can put your fruit in at the beginning, it's not a problem. Personally, I like my bread to absorb the liquid and then my fruit, but it's entirely up to you. So you can see, get my spoon, it has completely absorbed all the liquid and the fruit is starting to swell, which is just what we want. Okay, and this is the sort of texture you're after. Okay, a really gloopy texture, not too wet, but not too dry, so it just falls off the spoon. Okay, so I've got my melted butter here. You can also use margarine. I've used that in the past, not a problem. So there's some people don't go too well with butter. Okay, well, it's what you've got in the fridge basically, isn't it? So pop that in there and give it a good old stir. I like this because it's really, really easy. It's mega tasty, absolutely lovely, and it keeps, you know, keep it in an airtight container, it will keep for a good week. And you just literally have a slice with a cup of coffee, a cup of tea. It is amazing. And it's a real good old-fashioned recipe. It doesn't require a lot of faffing about. Okay, so I've done that. I've incorporated my melted butter into my mix really well. So now I'm going to pop it in my tin. I use silicone, purely for ease, but you can use exactly what you've got. If you've got a metal pan, then I might suggest that you line it, at least at the bottom, and grease and flour the sides. But as I say, I've always used silicone for this, and I find it works really well. It just turns out beautifully. But one thing I will say is I put it on a baking sheet, purely for stability, because it is quite a big pan and the mixture is quite weighty. Okay, so that's that. And then all you do is literally push it into your pan. Push it into the corners. You'll find it doesn't rise that much, a little bit, but not an awful lot, because obviously you haven't got your self-raising flour or anything in it to make it rise. But it is absolutely delish. There we go, job done. So now I'm going to pop it in my oven. Okay, so as I said, I put it on. I put mine on a baking sheet, purely for stability and safety when putting in and out the oven. Okay, so I've got my oven on 180, gas mark 4 or 5, depending on how hot your oven runs, but you'll know your own oven. And I'm going to pop it in now, and I will see you later. Okay, so my bread pudding is cooked, my skewer is coming out clean when I've tested it. And as you can see, it looks absolutely amazing. It smells even better. So now's the time to put the topping on. So you put it on as soon as it comes out of the oven, because the heat will bond the sugar to it. So what I've done is I've taken some of my really dark brown sugar that I'm using today, and I've mixed granulated with it. So you can see it just makes a really nice topping. And all I'm going to do is literally just sprinkle it on liberally. Okay, don't be shy with this. But you have to do it as soon as it comes out while it's still sizzling, because that way the sugar will bond with the bread pudding. It will almost melt it on it in a way, I suppose. So, as I say, don't be shy with this. Just pop it on, get it all over there. And there we go. Just pop it all on. Lovely. Okay, now we leave that to cool completely. Then when it's completely cold, you can turn it out. Please do not cut it in the silicone pan. My partner did that, went straight through my silicone pan. Turn it out onto a baking tray, a cold baking tray, or a plate, or a chopping board, and then cut into slices or squares and enjoy. Hope you've enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back to see you soon. Bye.